Thank you, Bob.
Deadpool shirt for Christmas. And what the fuck are you wearing?
My Christmas sweater.
What the fuck are you wearing? The fuck are you wearing? It's Christmas, motherfucker. Look, you too.
Literally your dad.
That's the most Brooklyn I've ever heard. What the fuck are you wearing? It's the most Christmas. Deadpool had a problem with your Christmas sweater? Big issue.
Super calm. What's with the Deadpool? And what the
What the fuck are you wearing?
3.8 out of 5. Whoa, no!
That just doesn't work for us.
Sound, speeding, camera, rolling, C99. Take 303, mark.
No half, no half stars on take 303. No half, no half, no half stars on take 303. Alright, No half, no half stars on take 303.
Welcome to Take 303, powered by 4-Way Media, the podcast with the guy who knows a lot about film.
And his friend.
I'm Nick Molinari.
I'm JP Brooks. We're talking everything film and television. And today we are talking about Anora.
That feels good.
Feels good?
It feels right.
One take.
Yeah.
Nice.
But first, in cinematic news.
Cinematic news!
Mark Strong. I don't know if you know the actor, this guy right here.
I love that guy.
He is reportedly in talks to play Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter series. We know that we don't like talking about them, but Viggo Mortensen, you love him. He's been asked to return as Aragorn for Lord of the Rings, the Gollum prequels. Gollum. I always mess that up.
You're good.
But I went confidently into that.
You did.
Yeah.
Say it with confidence.
Always. How do we feel about this? Because I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan.
We don't.
I know, because there's a Lord of the Rings cartoon movie out right now, too. Or do you care about that at all?
Trilogy's perfect. Don't need anything beyond that. Doesn't
I don't think I got your thoughts on it. Did you ever like the Hobbit movies?
No, I don't. I haven't even watched them. I refuse to watch them.
I saw the first one. I tuned out after that. I was like, I don't need to see more of this. The trilogy.
And also, like, it's hard enough to make. I feel like it's very difficult to make a book into a movie very well. It's very tough. I mean, they've done it with lots of them, but to do it perfectly, Lord of the Rings as a trilogy was done perfectly. To do anything else is always, that's the problem. Everything else is going to feel subpar.
Yeah, now to the funny stuff.
Okay.
So Timothée Chalamet, he forcibly damaged his eyesight for
What? It doesn't matter what for. What?
For his new movie. So he wore contacts because he wanted his eyes to appear smaller.
Is he going to become one of those
Daniel Day-Lewis types? Yeah, so let's talk Anora after the break.
Everybody has a vision. Everybody has a dream. Something that needs to be captured on the big screen. We at 4-Way Media love taking your passion projects and bringing them to life, whether you're a passionate artist or a small business owner. With expert videography and photography, we're going to take what you love to do, what you love to make, and transform it into a cinematic experience. 4-Way Media.
Welcome back, and we're talking Sean Baker's Anora, starring Mickey Madison, Mark Edelstein, Yora Borisov, Karen Karagulian, Voce Tovmasian, Alexei Serebrakov, and Daria Ekamasova.
Anora follows a girl named Annie/Anora, a stripper from Brooklyn, who is introduced and meets a guy, a young Russian oligarch, rich kid, who happens to come into a strip club one day. They develop a relationship, and they end up getting thrown into a marriage together, which leads to some interesting results when his family shows up and finds out. And that's what Anora is all about.
It's so on brand for us to do our Christmas special with a movie about a stripper.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of like it like pushes in on what could have been your bachelor party. Like, I wanted to see your reaction. I'll cut that out.
No, put it in. Put it in.
And we almost didn't see this movie.
Yeah.
I saw this by myself, and I didn't think we were going to get to the podcast for this, but we made it happen. And I'm so happy because we saw a good movie.
Great movie.
And I knew nothing really about this at all. I just knew that Sean Baker made it. Do you know who he is? He's the guy that did the Florida Project and Tangerine.
Yeah, heard about Tangerine. Yeah. All I know about his films are all about sex.
Yeah, they're not about sex, but sex workers.
Yeah, workers.
So
yeah.
whether they're hookers, strippers, something like that. And Florida Project, actually, the main actress, she's not an actress. He's just a regular person. He was like, I liked her vibe, and I think that she could bring authenticity to it. So that's kind of his style.
Well, it's an authentic movie. It feels like one.
It does feel like you got dropped into this world, and it feels very real. And especially to us, because it takes place right here. When you make a movie in New York, New Yorkers are the first and foremost to tell you if this is authentic or not.
And this is Russian Brooklyn.
Yeah.
To a fucking T. Like, I think anybody who's from the Sheepshead Bay area, the Coney
Brighton.
Island area, Brighton, if you are from that neighborhood and you're a Brooklyn listener, you're going to feel right at home. Like, I felt like I was home. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like, it's going to sound weird, but I felt like, not that I was in the movie, but I had some camaraderie with the movie. Like, it understood me. All the Coney Island scenes, pulling up, getting a fucking tow truck, like, all, like, it's so, I could, every scene, like, I'm like, oh, I know that. Yep, I know that. Yep,
Oh my God,
I know
that parking spot in Coney Island. I was like, I don't drive. I was like, I could tell you, buddy, that's not the place to park. Like, that's
is
not
not
where you park. So as soon as the first scene hits, like once the music drops in, I was like, damn. I was like, oh, okay, this is a bop. That song, I told Pete, I was like, this could spoil my review, but I was like, that song not playing a third time during the end credits is the only thing that is pulling me out of this. I was like, how could you not? I was like, that's such a good song.
And you know they went back and forth on it.
Yeah.
You could feel like, as a director, you get big balls. Good job, Sean. Like, to not play it. In some part, I get it. The movie has a choice at the end of the film. Is this a comedy or is it a tragedy? And it chose tragedy.
It's both.
It chose tragedy.
Yeah. And
with that one song choice.
Yeah, because I thought this was a completely different other movie. When I sat down, again, like, I didn't read the description about it. I just went to it. And you did the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. So when I watched this movie, I'm thinking, like, oh, shit, things are going to go down. We're going to get, like, our John Wick situation going on. We're going to have all this.
Yep.
And it became none of that. Because I forgot for a hot second that I was in a Sean Baker movie. And that's not what these movies are. They're always about telling human stories. And this is as human as it can get.
So this is the comment I want to say about the movie. I've been dying to say it in front of you. This movie is the perfect epitome of what both of us want out of a movie. Because I know you must have been just at these shots. The cinematography must have, like, you must have been blown away.
Oh, yeah, the Wonders?
The Wonders, yeah.
Woo.
And me, from a story perspective, all authentic, like, it knows what it is. Like, I could not end this on a better movie to end the podcast. And we've had lots of great movies.
Yeah.
But I think for the both of us, it is the perfect blend of, here's a story that Joe is going to love, and here is a beautifully shot movie that Nick is going to appreciate. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect movie for us.
Yeah, and when you said, like, knows what it was, it has to for this to work, because to perfectly blend the drama and the comedy, especially for the twist that comes in the second half, which I wasn't prepared for at all. When I say twist, is that the second act is just the whole one day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Took you by surprise, and every single joke lands. Like, even the ones you don't think are jokes. And this was funny. I didn't want to ruin too much because I saw it before you did. And there were only 4 women in the theater with me.
Right.
And when I stood up, it was just 4 women behind me. And I was the only one that was, like, laughing, like, audibly loud. And it was like, ooh, I feel awkward. I was like, I'm going to skedaddle.
But it's funny.
It is. It is.
It feels like The Hangover.
Yes.
At least the feeling is like, I'm like, they're looking for this guy they can't find. This is The Hangover.
Yeah, I was like, it feels like it should be easy to locate this guy, but it apparently is not. And I know we're jumping around a lot. Let's talk about performances, because this is clearly a performance movie. And Mickey Madison just knocks it out of the park for her performance, because when I saw her, I was like, she looks familiar, but I was like, probably, like, you know, same kind of thing. Sean Baker just pulls another person that, just for authenticity's sakes. And I'm thinking, like, man, that accent just feels so real and everything. And then I realized none of that is true. She's actually an established actor. She was in Scream 5. Like, that makes you appreciate what she's doing here way more.
Her Brooklyn accent is fantastic.
That's what I'm saying.
At first, I was worried.
I believed it.
Yeah, at first I was a little worried it was over the top. But then the more she does it, the more I'm like, yeah, I've met this girl before in my neighborhood. Like, I know who she is. It's really good.
Because even, like, the language exchanges in the beginning, I was nervous about how they were trying to navigate that because they made it seem like he couldn't speak English, and she was saying like full English sentences, and he was like trying to figure out how to respond in Russian. Like that confused me a little bit, but like it started making more sense that like he knew a little bit more and he's learning too, and she knew and she was trying to learn for him.
Their interactions are so fucking believable.
Yeah.
Man, it didn't even feel like it was a script.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm listening to his dialogue, I'm listening for those the accent changes. I'm listening for the language swaps. When I'm saying that, that means I'm completely forgetting that these are actors.
Yeah.
Like you could definitely see that this is either a very well written script or heavy improv, because
I'm gonna go script.
just so good. And then, you know, obviously we're talking about the main two characters because it's about them, but the gang. We got to talk about the gang because I watched this a month ago, so the names are a little bit fuzzy to me, but Igor,
Yeah.
is probably my favorite character outside of Anora, because this guy, from the first moment he shows up to the check-in, I was like, he's hysterical. Like, just, I love this guy. And then the kidnapping, I know we're not going to spoil too much here, but like the kidnapping, hysterical, leading all the way to his ending and his character arc, absolutely phenomenal.
What was it? Tauros, right?
Tauros was the main,
That's my favorite
the older guy.
That's my favorite character. They remind me of the Three Stooges.
Mm.
And the Stooges always need a leader. And he's just the, like, that character is usually, like, the tough guy, but you just never believe his toughness. And so what I love about that character is, like, he has a job to get done, and it just seems the whole world is out to fuck him. And it's just great. It's just...
Well, not even just, like, trying to do his job, but he gets called out of his second job, which is even funnier.
Yeah, it's...
Like, he has to pull out of his other job.
He's just great. Like, outside of the main two. Right? I find him to be the most interesting because there's one line, you don't want him to be right, but you know he's right.
Yeah, and that's when you know you're immersed, you're entertained, you're intrigued. They're giving you the breadcrumbs, and you're trying to see where to go with it.
He also had the best joke in the movie of when he berates the guy for really choosing an awkward moment to say what he say, and then not 2 minutes later he does the same thing. That's the best joke in the movie for me, because like. Yeah, it's like the blind leading the blind, but he's the king, like the one in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. He's the one-eyed man. He's blind like them, but he's trying.
Well, it's also because their job is kind of like free form in a sense. It's like to keep things under control. But when things are so out of control, then you're just like, what do I do? Like I'm normally just like the bag man, but now I have to do this whole thing today.
And then his voice, like, please, come on, it's like he's begging. Like, you can pick any performance, and I think love it. But outside the main two, it's him. I think we've touched on it, but just to be clear, writing 10 out of 10, cinematography
10 out of 10,
script 10 out of 10.
Yeah, let's talk about something that we both can chime in on: women empowerment. This is obviously a female-led movie, but obviously written by a man. And we know, according to certain people in Hollywood, that this cannot be.
This could not be.
This could not be.
We could not have a strong female character. At no point during the movie did they say Annie is a strong woman.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
She never...
I still don't know.
Who are we to assume their gender? But as two men with beards, let's talk about this. Sure. Do we feel like women were empowered?
I felt like she was playing him the whole time up until a certain point. Like, it felt like she was doing exactly what her job is to entertain, seduce, give people a thrill, a pleasure, a fantasy. Yeah. She does all that.
Because I say this question in a joking form, but in a realistic sense, she was in love with the life. And I think she infused the two and made it like one for the other. And she couldn't really decipher which one was which. And she just wanted that consistency. And she wanted a way out. And all of that comes clashing in towards that very final scene. Which, again, just beautiful staging, blocking, everything.
Also, too, if someone is giving you what you want, like someone is the key or the ticket to the life you want to have, I mean, it's very easy to love. Like you said, it's easy to infuse it. It's easy to love them. So whether or not did she actually love him, Probably not, but I think at some point she really did, because what she really loved is the life, and he is that for her. So I like, how to say that, at some point you can tell. So the one part where I doubt if she loves him is she's on the couch, and she agrees to it, like the payout basically, but you're like, she's still going to try to convince him.
I feel like there was like a almost subtle, not subtle version, like playing video games on the couch with your significant other changes once a ring is on that finger and like a priest says you're in this. Is Anora really in control? Do you really believe that?
No.
At any point?
Up until the first act is over, and when they clearly make it the first act is over because they play the song again and then it cuts to black, and now you know the first act is over. So right up until then, Anora's in control 100%. And then as soon as the other people show up, Anora is no longer in control at all for the entire movie. She has no control.
And what's funny is I actually hate movies that are kind of like that, where things just happen to a character and they can't do anything about it. But Anora fights and she
fucking
fights.
Brooklyn girl.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
She puts up a fight. She doesn't just let things happen to her. So I do believe that this is a movie, despite what people may say, where I think women are empowered. It's messy, so it's not necessarily like, pushing women forward in that sense. Like, I feel like that wasn't the purpose of this movie. It's just to tell a story.
No offense to the women empowerment thing. Do whatever you want with it. But I think it's actually a disservice to Anora as a character to attach woman empowerment to it. First off, I would ask, well, just because you're in control, does that mean you're empowered? What does it mean to be... I would ask that question first. When you say empowered, what do you mean by that? Because that can mean lots of different things. But I feel she's empowered when she's chasing after the life she wants, and she's going for it. I feel that she's fighting for a better life than what she had. And now that we're talking about it, I didn't understand the very last scene in the car. Now I get it. If I had to analyze and break it down, all of it makes sense.
Or we could just say spoilers from this point out.
I actually would think it's good for the podcast if we talk about the ending.
Okay. So, yeah. Let's talk brief review, and then we'll go into spoilers, because I feel like...
I think when
we go on tangents...
It's a good movie.
There's a reason, yeah.
And all we're doing is talking about the movie. When we're talking about everything but the movie and we're going tangents, it's terrible.
So when we're having deep conversations about this movie, that it's a good movie. So I think...
Yeah. I'm ready for a review. Go watch the fucking movie.
At this point, we're going to hit some spoilers, but brief review, felt really good about this movie. It's a 5 out of 5 for me.
5 out of 5. Yeah, no question.
Spoiler territory, that final scene is just a masterclass in directing, cinematography, and performances, because... she is going back to her old life. She is being led there with a guy who she hates, who she judged by a book from the moment that she met him.
Because you're a fucking faggot. Best line of the movie.
These are quotes from the movie, not us.
Going to the movie, bro.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
She is given a gift from him to symbolize what she had lost. And she is trying to thank him in the only way she knows possible. And when she realizes, halfway through that that's not even what she wants, and she's so confused about what she wants, she breaks down. And that's it. That's what she should have done before, but never got the chance to, and she's letting it all out.
Interesting. I interpret it totally differently.
Go for it.
So it didn't occur to me just now. What do you think she's crying about? By the way, when I say, what do you think she's crying about? No, it's like... I
go, the fuck she's crying about?
What the fuck you wearing that?
Yeah.
No, it's... What do you think is the focus of the pain that she's experiencing? What do you think it is?
Losing the lifestyle and heading back to her old one.
Right. Yeah, it's grieving the life she could have had.
Yeah.
The opportunity. And 100% having to step back into that world. I took that as, so she's literally... It's becoming transactional again. This is, for me, that action... is her stepping back into her reality. It's you just had all of this. The question, and I thought the entire time, is after everything is said and done, I go, well, how do you go back to your old life? Well, you need a way to do that, and that interaction is the way she gets back to her old life. And I think the reason she's crying, I don't think she's confused. I think she's grieving the fact that she is now back to this again. She has stepped down from where she was. Clearly where she was a step above. No questions asked. Now she's stepping back down into the same world, and she's sad because now she's fallen back down again. That's where it is. I actually don't think she's confused at all. I think she's been given a pause. When people get a moment of pause and really reflect, it hits them. And she goes right back into that mode because she knows now she has to go back there. She doesn't have a choice anymore. Yeah. So I think she's like something died. Like her dreams just died. That's what she's crying about.
Yeah, and it couldn't have been staged even better because not only do they pull up right outside of her and her sister's apartment, but it's in a car. Like an actual symbol of transportation, like to take one from one place to another. She's literally leaving that life and going physically back to her old life. And all of this is happening in the confines of the car.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was meant to be done this way, but the fact that she starts in the strip club, goes home, then goes to his house, then goes to Vegas, and then it all goes right backwards. Mm-hmm. Goes back to Vegas, goes back to his house, then goes back home.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's all perfectly back. Like, literally, it's the fall.
There's a lot of things happening here because I just actually saw a video on this last night where someone analyzed Anora, and just cinematography-wise, they were saying in every single frame, there is red and blue. For somebody was saying for American colors to symbolize the American dream. Other people were noting that the Russian flag has the same colors on it, and they were saying like there's so many things happening subtly in the background that we're not even aware of that are just kind of infusing this idea of dreams. And when we said believable at the beginning of the movie, I couldn't agree more because throughout the whole second act, I actually did believe there was like just a tiny...
Oh, man. Didn't you?
Tiny bit of hope where she might get what she wants. Like, you're still rooting for her.
She's telling them, no, we are in love. No, we are a married couple. And she's fighting so hard to it that you, like... I almost forget that this relationship, how it started, I really believe, no, she really loves this guy. That's how hard she's fighting. Like, at first, you think she's fine for the life, but then when she sees him and everything and gets upset... Because she agrees to it, right? At first. And you're thinking like, oh, well, she just agreed to it because she wants to talk to him and convince him to get him. Right. But then she talks to him and she's really talking to him like she's a loving wife.
Yeah, and that's why these conversations feel so real. And it almost feels like she wants better for him. But then in the back of your head, you're still thinking like, but if he wasn't like filthy rich right now, these conversations wouldn't be happening.
Right. And agreed. Lots of things. Like, none of this is happening. But now that we are there, and so much has happened, that almost doesn't matter anymore. She says it over and over again. We are in love. We did get married.
Yeah, and she's trying to shape that life. Like, she's even trying to teach him, like, how not to jackhammer her, like, all the time.
Yeah, like slow it down.
Just do it right. So, yeah, in the back of my head, throughout the entire second act, I'm thinking... Maybe when she does meet the parents, like there's like a way for her to get like, you know, like say like and she was like trying to get this money as like a settlement also, and I'm just like maybe she could get just that. I was like she can't go home with nothing, and I was like damn, she went home with nothing, like basically nothing. Like Igor helped her out at the end, but yeah, I was just like there was enough there where I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't expect the second act at all.
I know. I like this is not what I had on my bingo card.
Yeah, I didn't expect to laugh. I didn't know what to expect with this movie. So I was, what a movie to end this on. And now that we're here, we gave our short reviews. Amazing cinematography, amazing performances, writing, everything all around. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Why you go to the movie theater?
Not only is this our Christmas special, this is our 99th episode. This is our...
Your 99th. Mine, I'm missing like 10 at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, so I endured. I endured 99 of these. It's funny, one of my friends actually reached out. He was like, yo, I want to be on the podcast. I was like we're ending in 2 episodes.
It's over. Like, whoever reached out to him, do your own fucking podcast and bring him on.
I know you're not watching because we announced this like 10 episodes ago, and we've been teasing it. But yeah, this is our last movie review episode. Our next episode is going to be the Oscars, and the Golden Globe nominees just came out a couple days ago.
I don't think Conclave does. I don't know. Conclave's good. Musical.
I think Dune is really good, but sci-fi never wins, so I know it would be shitty to just pick it.
For sci-fi, I hope it wins.
'Cause-
But I wish Dune wasn't the one.
Like think about these stats. Star Wars, lost. Avatar, lost. 2001: A Space Odyssey, lost.
Well, that movie sucks, but I give it to Anora.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the same thing. Is that Anora should win, but I feel like Wicked will have that come from behind victory. But I don't think Wicked has a shot at the Oscars.
Okay, and let us all agree, Sean Baker should win this for Anora, without question. I don't care what without question.
And that's why you really love this movie. Like, this is a coming-of-age tale.
It is a coming-of-age tale, and it's... That being said, well, this has been another episode of Take 303. Thanks so much for watching our final movie review, Anora. Thank God we ended it on a good one, as much as I love the funny episode. Thank God. So thank you, Sean Baker. Thank you, Mike Madison. Thank you, Edelstein, for a great movie. I mean, at this point, why are you following us? We're not going to put anything out.
Except for the Broskers.
Except for the Broskers, and you should at least follow Take.303 if you want to make a movie, if you want our artistic touch on it.
Well, 4-Way Media.
4way_media on Instagram, if you're looking for that. I just can't believe that's it. It's so sad.
99.
99, and I'm really sad we did, what was our last in-theater experience then? What movie? Was it with Lindsay for the...
Director's cut?
Oh, man.
Which is only fitting. That was a good time.
That'd be our last in-theater experience, just balls out, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Hell yeah.
Only 4 people in the theater.
Well, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time for the last time with the Broskers.